Hi, everyone, and welcome to my first episode of Future Forward, an ongoing series where I will be interviewing partners on emerging technologies, hot topics, and trends in the industry. Today, I'm excited as I'm joined by Alyssa Fitzpatrick, Global Vice President from Elastic. Elastic and Microsoft have a very long-standing relationship, successful partnership. And in fact, Elastic was named Microsoft's U.S. Partner of the Year last year. Welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you so much for having me, Nina. It's an honor to be on your podcast.
It would be great to share a little bit how you think about the concept of partnership and how it's evolved over the years.
You know, it really has evolved over the years. Partnering, when I think back to the early days, 30 years ago, when we started at building partnerships and kind of the channel model, it's evolved so much.
But sometimes that starts with the experience internally at the company, right? Maybe you can share with us a little bit about the ways that you're leveraging Elastic's capabilities to drive innovation within your organization, the learnings you're getting from that, and then how that's fueling your customers using Microsoft's Azure platform.
We build on Azure OpenAI, so that enhances those generative capabilities so that we can really test our own AI internally. We go deeper with integrating with Azure AI Foundry, serverless on Azure, and vector databases. And so as we're engineering, we're constantly looking at areas in which we can engage and leverage all of the greatness that's coming from Microsoft's engineering. And we really look at Copilot, and we're excited to unlock some of the things that you guys are doing with the Copilot experiences, because we're embedded in there, but we're starting to really unlock and take that not only to ourselves, but to our customers.
That's great. Well, there isn't a boardroom where they're not talking about AI right now. We also know that AI can't be realized without migrating to the cloud. And so how are the migrations also providing more opportunity for Elastic? And how are you overcoming any customer hesitation in this journey?
We absolutely love migrating to the cloud. It's good for us, it's good for you, and it's good for our customers. It is a much healthier way to engage with our customers because it allows us to understand what they're trying to accomplish, make sure we're with them in every step of the way. It's a huge opportunity for us in our partnership as well.
There's so much opportunity. The migration opens the door for really, I would say, intensive conversations with our customers around where they want to go. In this world of opportunity, what would you say are your top 3 strategic priorities for the upcoming year? And how do you plan to leverage the Microsoft partnership in there? And how are you really going after those growth objectives?
When I look at some of the opportunities that we've got, we're seeing a strong customer adoption in mid-market. And we've got a lot of customers there that do bite-sized. Public sector continues to be a stalwart for both of us, and we'll continue to focus on that. But there are also some geo-expansion areas. And as strong as we are, and thank you for the award in the U.S. as Partner of the Year, we greatly appreciate that, and we're honored. We look to our other markets, and I look to Europe, and right now it's Europe only represents 30% of our overall pie of business together. And I believe there's a lot of opportunity to grow that slice of the pie.
We've talked a little bit about your priorities. We've talked about the value proposition. Maybe you have some advice for other partners that are trying to build their partnership with Microsoft. What advice do you have for them on what to leverage from the program to really drive the impact that they hope to have?
We have opened every door that has been presented to us. So when there's programmatic incentives, select incentives, pilot programs, value proof opportunities for partnership, we're like, hey, count us in, put us in, coach, we're ready to go. And so I'm saying yes to every opportunity and then working that opportunity, looking at how do we really leverage what's been made available. We maximize the incentives and the Azure sponsorship opportunities through the Azure Marketplace rewards. We also leaned in on your Azure Innovate incentive. We get very unique insights into the AI roadmaps as we continue to leverage a lot of these opportunities. So all I could say to the rest of the partner ecosystem is get in there, plug in, understand the opportunities, figure out how it works for you, and then start working the game.
I loved what you said about just saying yes, like try it. We talk a lot at Microsoft about a growth mindset and just being curious about everything out there and jumping in to see if an investment or an opportunity actually can accelerate our business together. I love that. The other thing that I try to encourage partners to do is to really look at our key priorities of what is fueling our business. The magical thing I think about Microsoft is when we have our 5 priorities, which many of you have seen, or we share them openly, externally, every part of the business lines up to those 5 priorities. And so if you understand that, you have a connection with the marketers, you have a connection with the product folks, you have a connection with the field sales organization, with our scale engines, because you know everyone's lining up that way. So figuring out what your value proposition is, what your unique value proposition is, and how do you play and support into those priorities, that's where the magic of acceleration really can happen.
I couldn't agree more. If I was going to give advice to partners, the first thing I would say is get a co-innovation roadmap with Microsoft that you know how to resource, how you're going to leverage the infrastructure and the incentives.
Well, so there's lots of opportunity, lots of energy. You guys are doing a great job. Obviously, our partner of the year last year. So a great example to be sharing the insights. I can't thank you enough for spending time with me today. Alyssa, it's just been wonderful. I think you've shared some real nuggets with other partners around how to be successful. And I'm just excited for our continued success together with the customers and how we're going to innovate and transform their businesses together. Thanks to everyone for watching. I'll be back in a few weeks and we'll have another episode of Future Forward.